Today, we're going to talk about how I bought a house at 23 years old. So this is actually my second house that I've purchased. This is the first one I plan on living in. The first house I bought, it was just a really good deal at a really right time for me, and I bought that one. I was going to live in that, and then I realized it just was going to take too much work to get it to where I wanted it to be. So therefore, I ended up selling that property. So a little backstory of that property: I bought it for 30 grand, owner financed. So if you don't know about owner financing, I can talk about that in a later video. But I bought that one for 30 grand, owner financed, 8% simple interest, and I paid the owner $400 a month. Well, after about 2 years and just countless hours over there, just trying to keep the land clean and figuring out the legal stuff with permitting and all that, I realized that I was going to be in way too much money for what I wanted to be into a house. So I listed that for sale in March of 2022, and I sold it. I sold it for $65,000, so I made a little bit of money off of it. And then that left me with another scenario, like where am I going to go next? And basically what happened is I got a call from a friend who he's in his late 70s, and he said, "Hey, I'm done being a real estate investor. I'm done, being a landlord. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm selling my last property. It's a fixer-upper, and if you want it, I'll sell it to you at a good deal." So I went over here, I looked at it, and I said, you know what? That's something I want to get into. So made a deal with them. I bought this house for $174. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,330 square feet, heated and cooled, and then it has a 25 by 20 garage on it, which is really nice. So that brings us to today. So when I bought this house, I knew there was going to be some work that needed to be done. I gutted both bathrooms and the kitchen because the shower valves and the sink were leaking. So what happened with that is there was a lot of water damage. There was some mold. Got rid of all the mold, all the soggy drywall, all that stuff. And then I went, you know what? If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. I want to live here. I'm not going to flip this place. So then we started scraping the ceilings, as you can kind of see above me. We removed all the floor. I removed all the tile in the living room or in the kitchen and dining room. Removed all the tile, ground the floor down, and now we're just about ready for a rebuild. So I have no more demo to be done that I know of. I don't think there's any more demo that I'm going to do. I might cut a hole in this wall behind me, but I'm still trying to figure out, because I'm not a designer. I'm not a real estate investor either. I'm just a young kid with a dream, and that's what we're here to talk about. So I know the market's pretty crazy right now. It's hard to buy a house. It's hard to get financing, and interest rates are up super high. But if you play your cards right and you plan, you can probably do something. You can probably get out and get into a house that needs a little bit of work and do it all yourself. So if you're new to buying a home or just moving out, I've never actually moved out. This is my second house now. I've never left my parents' house. I didn't go to college. I'm a mechanic. I'm not a construction guy. I grew up in construction. I grew up in the trades. My dad's a general contractor and he's a master plumber. But that doesn't, it gives me a little bit of a leg up when it comes to tools, but that doesn't say that somebody else can't do it. So if you want to get into a fixer-upper, the 3 things I would definitely recommend are: get a home inspection. What a home inspection is going to do, if you don't know what you're looking for yourself, they're going to do is they're going to come over here and they're going to nitpick this thing and pick it apart. And they're going to tell you, hey, the roof has a leak in it, or you have a skylight that's installed wrong, or your showers, the water is leaking behind it. The wall's really soft, like if you could push it. And then basically what that's going to allow you to do is have somebody who knows what to look for is going to pick this place apart and tell you, hey, this is what you need to be prepared for when you get into this house. They're not perfect. You want to get somebody who has good reviews on Google, or family friend recommends you, or your realtor. Your realtor is probably going to know the best people for a home inspection in your area because that's what they do. If you're like me, you're not a realtor, you're not a real estate investor, you're not a contractor, you're a mechanic from Florida, that inspector is going to go, okay, since you don't know what to look for, this is what you need to be aware of. And they're going to tell you if it's an immediate issue or if it could be an issue in the future. So that way you can plan and you can budget and not be caught between a rock and a hard place. Definitely get a home inspection, pay the extra money. Also, if most states, if you get a wind mitigation, basically they go up there and they tell you, hey, your house is able to withstand this type of wind. If you're in Florida, a big issue with us is hurricanes, and you've probably all seen the videos of like a roof being lifted off of a house. That's because it was either a really bad storm or it was installed improperly. With the wind mid, which is what I got as well, I got a 4-point and I got a wind. Paying $300 to get my wind mid, my 4-point done, saved me about $800 a year according to my insurance. Definitely a home inspection. The second thing you need to keep in mind when you get into a fixer-upper is your budget. Budget and your plans for the house are really going to limit you on what you can do. For instance, you come in and the house needs a kitchen. Now, if you're gonna flip this house, you're probably gonna go with like builder grade stuff, builder grade, cabinets, the builder grade, appliances and things like that. But if you want to live here and you want stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, custom cabinetry, all that stuff adds up quick. You can go from, it's going to take me $3,000 to do a kitchen to it's going to take me $30,000 to do a kitchen. And if you're not going to do it yourself, you're going to spend a lot of money on the labor. The materials really aren't what you're paying for when you pay somebody else to do it. It's the labor. It's the skilled trades that come in here and they go, okay, you want custom cabinets, or hey, you want to move your sink from this wall to in front of your window, which is what I'm actually doing. With my dad being a plumber, he had most of the stuff on his truck, and he's my dad, so he helped me out with repiping and moving some faucets and things like that around. So your budget, you really want to set a budget that you can stick to, that's something realistic, and a time frame that you want to stick to that's realistic. If you buy a house like this and you want to play HGTV, oh, we're going to get this house done in 6 weeks, I hate to break it to you, but unless you got a crew of 50 guys and you're a contractor and you have a lot of money in your pocket or an investor in your pocket, and they're going to fund this, then, if you don't have that, it's going to take you way longer than what you see on TV. So a lot of us get discouraged by, we'll watch, at least for me, I'll watch HGTV and I'm like, man, these guys are getting these houses done in a month, 2 months, 3 months, full tear outs, new windows, new insulation, new HVAC, new plumbing, new everything. They're doing all this, new tile, floor, paint, whatever, and they're getting it done in 2 months. But what you have to realize is, I'm not on HGTV. We're not on HGTV. We're on YouTube. We're searching YouTube on how to do, epoxy floor, or how to do concrete countertops, or how to make your own butcher block countertop. So a lot of us can get discouraged, but what I'm trying to say is don't get discouraged. You need to set a realistic timeline and you need to set a solid budget. How much can you afford to put into this house each month after paying all your other bills? You want to look and you want to go, okay, my kitchen, I want to spend $5,000 and I want to have it done by December. Okay, how much every pay period, every month, can you put towards getting that kitchen done? You want to take that budget, take that plan, and stick to it. Really hold yourself accountable, because if you don't, you're going to end up with a house that's torn to pieces and you can't stay here. So with that being said, budget and time management and setting a timeline are definitely top 3 things to keep in mind when you're doing a renovation on a home. Number 3 for the things that I think are most important when getting into a renovation. Number 3 is picking out your design. My top tip for this, and take it with a grain of salt, is Pinterest. Pinterest is just full of ideas and cool things that you can just copy and make fit, to your layout and your style and all that. And a lot of them have links to the products that they used or like a how-to. So I have a huge Pinterest folder organized room by room, inside and out, for all my design ideas of what I want to do. So definitely your design is one of the key factors to think about when you're getting into this rental. With that being said, I'm Kev, and I'll see you guys next time.